Welcome to Speak for Yourself. Marcellus Wiley here.
Friday edition.
Not by himself on a Friday for the first time this year. Emmanuel Otto's in the building. How you doing, Pinky?
It's good to see you, big dog. They just said you needed some help. So, you know,
Oh, they said I needed some help?
Word on the street.
They said I need a lot of help.
The Twitterverse told me.
Well, I need so much help. Can I go home and you get some more help than me? Don't spill no yak on that $200 suit. All right, let's get it started in Cleveland.
$200? Don't embarrass me.
Man,
don't embarrass me.
You
don't
embarrassing
ever embarrass
yourself.
me like that again.
You don't know the reference. You done messed up again. Damn it! Trying to get this boy hip. Let's get it started in Cleveland. He'll catch it. Where the Browns held on to beat the Broncos last night. I really tried to help you. And they did without Baker Mayfield. Golly, Case Keenum, what happened? All right, Case Keenum had an up-and-down game, but finished with just under 200 passing yards and added a touchdown pass. Our own Jay Glazer. What up, Jay? Reports Baker told him that in addition to suffering a torn labrum in his non-throwing shoulder earlier this year, he recently fractured his humerus bone, and that ain't funny, and needs to crack to heal before he can get back on the field. So, Pinky, is the Browns win a bad look for Baker?
Nah, first off, educate me then, big dog. You're not going to clown me. Look, America, this is how he do me. This is how he do me. He make a joke, then he tell me you trying to help me.
Dog.
Then you don't tell me how you trying to help me.
Okay, let me help you.
Okay,
all right.
$200 suit is an offense, unless there's an inside joke that I'm outside of.
You ever seen Friday, the first one?
The first
then
one?
Friday at the next, and next Friday and all. You got to watch all three of them. Pinky was a character in there. He was in there and he wore a suit, and they said something about $200 suit. Anyway, I digress. You got me in trouble yesterday over here reciting Tupac verses when it's really Lil Wayne. I respect both, but your young buck gonna get me fired out here in these streets. Hey, dog, say it right. It was Pac's verse to Lil Wayne.
It was Pac's verse. Apologies. Okay, back to football,
Let's get
baby.
to it.
The Browns win is a terrible look for Baker Mayfield. Not just a bad look, it's a terrible look for Baker Mayfield. And here's why.
Okay.
If you ever get benched, if you ever sit out, if you ever get replaced, you got to monitor and hope that your replacement does not keep the same job or make the job better. If you ever get benched, if you ever get replaced, you got to make sure that your replacement does not maintain your level of performance.
Say it.
It's a Friday, Sal.
Okay, we loose?
I ain't usually here on Fridays. You know this, man. I'm out here working. I ain't usually here on Fridays. But you know what I do on Fridays?
What? What you do?
I get on my iPad. I look at these ratings. Because I got to see. To speak for yourself, still ball on
Joy
Fridays
Taylor,
when your boy ain't here. And I make sure that at least, you know what I'm saying, them numbers can't look the exact same.
They look better?
Because if them speak numbers look better, your boy in trouble. And if them speak numbers look worse,
is that why you really here?
So Baker Mayfield, them Browns, they look just as good in your absence.
Facts.
I'm not going to say they look better, right? I don't think the Broncos are all that good, but the Browns looked just as good in Baker Mayfield's absence. That's a terrible look for you, Baker. If a CEO steps down, but the business maintains this level of profit, not a great look for the CEO that stepped down. If a show host leaves a show and the show rates the same, not a great look for the host that left the show. If a quarterback is absent and the backup quarterback maintains a high level of play, not a great look for the absent quarterback. So I think it is a terrible look for Baker Mayfield that the Browns won and how they won.
I hear you there. Was this a bad look for Baker Mayfield? Not really. Okay, I had a rooting interest to see Case Keenum go out there and ball out. Why?
Yes,
I like smoke. I like drama. I'm not going to fight, so I like to see other people have to go through it, right? I was sitting back vicariously watching this because I lived through a soap opera, a quarterback controversy, Rob Johnson, Doug Flutie, and I know how that actually sparked our team, but at the same time looked divisive from the outside. But it's really just another form and version of competition. I want Case Keenum to go out there and ball because then when Baker Mayfield gets healthy and comes back, oh, we done changed the standard around here, as you said, because your backup looked just like you. But he didn't really look just like Baker Mayfield. He got the victory, and obviously they needed that victory desperately. But at the same time, there were some things that were good and bad about this. This was a hot and cold situation, up and down, as I said earlier. Let's say two things, Marcellus. One is this. If you're Case Keenum, you can't look like that and take his job. What do they say if you're going to go into a heavyweight fight against the champion? You got to knock him out to get the championship,
okay,
right?
Fair. I like that.
You're not going to win on the scorecards because he's the champ. Baker Mayfield is the starter. The only way you're going to knock him out of that position is to knock him out of that position. You can't go out there and say, well, we won, and we had a great running game from our third stringer, and our offensive line dominated. Like, However, at the same time, you got to also understand the dynamics at play that is going to help Case Keenum. Case Keenum knows he has an inside track to this job. And the opportunity just presented itself. And that's what he's been waiting for. That's why he said, I'm built for this. Case Keenum pregame was talking about, I'm built for this. Really? I thought you were just a journeyman, but at the same time, now you built for this. You know why he thinks so much of himself in this situation? Because of that inside track. Acho, I don't know about you and your culture and the people in your world, but I do know I've watched from afar some arranged marriages, right? And for every person that I know on one hand that is in an arranged marriage, none of them talk deeply about the love. They all talk about how they grew in the situation, in the role of arrangement to finally say, okay, I feel something. And then we're going to have this conversation and apply it to the Cleveland Browns because Kevin Stefanski is sitting there in an arranged marriage with Baker Mayfield. He's like, all right, this ain't. I didn't wake up thinking of him. So in this arranged marriage, who's the true love? It wouldn't even be Case Keenum because he's like, Case Keenum, I can't fall in love with you. You're my high school girlfriend. Like, we ain't going to go all the way with this. But at the same time, if you look at him versus Baker Mayfield, if he could do the same things, and he could do the same things and not cost him $200 million, which costs him roster spots and resources all around. All of a sudden, we won't have a backup as good as Kareem Hunt. All of a sudden, we won't have Odell Beckham Jr. making $15 million a year and catching no passes. All of a sudden, this team going to look drastically different. So the true love for Kevin Stefanski is actually in Case Keenum. And the arrangement is Baker Mayfield forced on him. And, hey, he changed the franchise's fortunes. Oh, people like him. He has commercials after commercials. He's the guy I'm supposed to be in love with. But in reality, when you start talking dollars, it starts to make sense that Case Keenum is his guy.
Okay, you started to confuse me with the second half of your take, but maybe I just took offense to the fact that you brought up arranged marriages to me. Is it because I'm African? So I know about arranged marriages. I got to watch Marcel. That's why I be ducking and dodging you on Friday.
See,
you start acting funny.
I had this written for Joy and Slick Rick, but you know what I mean? See, you took it personally. I would have said the same thing to them. Yeah, it wouldn't have hit the same.
Here is my thought on why it's such a bad look for Baker Mayfield. Case Keenum won.
Let's go.
Because I don't think Case Keenum has to do all that much to knock out Baker Mayfield. To your point, Baker Mayfield's not Kevin Stefanski's guy.
No.
He's his guy by, I can't even call it adoption because adoption is legal rights. He's almost his stepchild in the sense that I can step in and I can step out.
Oh, damn.
And so Case Keenum is actually the person that Kevin Stefanski brought, said, wait a second. I was with you over in Minnesota. You went 12-4. The Vikings were 13-3. Look deeply. Case Keenum went 12-4, playoffs included. So Case Keenum, you are serviceable, maybe even more than serviceable. Let's look at a full screen real quick. I don't want to bore anybody with numbers. It's going to be a show of opinions and fun. But Case Keenum last night, 63% completion percentage. Baker Mayfield over his career. You can say it's 63, it's really 62. Passing yards, Baker Mayfield throws for 50 more yards a game. Passer rating is the same thing. They were the same guy. Baker Mayfield over the course of his career is the same person that Case Keenum was last night. Kevin Stefanski going into the game. Second pass play of the game, tight end screen, 34-yard gain. Now we're in position. Now we're going to get a quick 7 points. First drive of the second quarter, running back screen. We're going to make it easy on you. That is what Kevin Stefanski does for his Browns quarterbacks. I very simply look at it like this. You would be a fool to say that Baker Mayfield is the problem in Cleveland. You would be a fool to say that Baker Mayfield is the reason the Browns have lost games. But he's not the problem in Cleveland, but he hasn't proven himself to be the solution either. Baker Mayfield is not the reason the Browns have lost games, but he's the reason they ain't won them either. And so as I look at Case Keenum, he wasn't the reason they won last night, but he sure as heck was the reason they didn't lose. Case Keenum, he ain't win the game last night, but he sure as heck didn't lose the game last night. Case Keenum, Baker Mayfield, as I look at it, there was no difference last night in play. For that reason, Baker got to be worried just a little bit.
Yeah, look, Baker and Case Keenum right now are Spider-Man memeing, doing that,
sir.
right? But the only difference is that Spider-Man suit on Baker going to cost $200 million, and the one on Case Keenum, you can get for dirt cheap. And I think that's going to be the rooting interest of this organization going forward.
So then Baker's worried.
Baker's not worried. You know why? Because he has so much equity with this franchise as you. First of all, hold on. Your transformation has been drastic, and it has been stark, and it has happened recently. But at the same time, let's go back to old Acho. You know, I like the old Acho, the old Kanye. I need to hear old Acho, who was up here tirelessly telling me how Baker Mayfield has changed everything in Cleveland.
Yes, sir.
They have not forgotten that. And the only way that they will forget that is if they have a change in terms of the fortunes at this position. Right now, they don't have a drastic change in this position. The outcome was good, but then they're going to be like, oh, wait a minute. So Baker is not the reason and the driving force for our success, right? So now we're going to get somebody else who's not going to be that same guy, but we're only going to be happy because it's cheaper. Okay, that's a positive, but what if Baker has a higher ceiling, which we all will agree he does? So with a higher ceiling, now you're going to roll the dice. Do I want Baker Mayfield to finally hit and become the driving force, where I know for a fact that you got to cap Case Keenum as like, he's never going to be the driving force, but he could be a cheap version of Baker Mayfield. It's just which way you want it, tomato, tomato. But let me give it to you like this, since you are starting to agree with me a little bit. One, that full screen wasn't fair. You can't compare somebody's whole career in average to somebody on one night. I got a better comparison, but it's kind of boring. But basically, it says the same thing. Baker Mayfield outperformed him in basic categories, right? But in the outcome, let's get deeper than that, than just those categories. Case Keenum, last night, was only sacked once. Baker's averaging 3 sacks a game. Okay. These are the details that, okay, if you're Baker Mayfield, you may want to take notice of, but not be worried. I'm going to give it to you at the end why not be worried. Case had no giveaways. Baker's 5 in his last 6 games, 3 interceptions and 2 lost fumbles. Okay. They both averaging 1 passing touchdown in the games. We get that. So I went season to season. Last night, that was the season for Case Keenum, and the rest of the games were the season for Baker Mayfield. But let me tell you why Baker Mayfield ain't worried. Ain't worried about nothing. He ain't worried about nothing. Did you have acne growing up?
Of course.
What do you mean, of course? First of all, I did not. It's not. I didn't have it. Something real. Not everybody had it. I know you were just stuck in your own world in that mirror in Clearasil, but there was somebody in that class looking like me too. Oh, I'm good, homie. Okay, I didn't have acne, thank God, and no one raises their hand.
Acne, pimples?
Yeah,
I didn't have acne, but I had like you know what I'm saying, that little thing here.
Yeah. Look, we human beings. It's okay. Relax. Take that button off. First of all, this pink suit got you soft today because you over here. Okay. With me, everybody.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, good.
Sorry.
I didn't have acne, thankfully. My sister did, and a lot of people did, obviously, as you did as well. But I would get the semester, maybe quarterly bump. And that bump would show up, thankfully. Boy, I was lucky. Not even right here on the front of your nose where everybody like, damn, why they never get a bump? But when you get one, golly. I would get it right here in the gutter. Right here in that gutter, right? But that's cool. The gutter, all right, because on this side, you know I got a bump? Nope. And even on this side, it's kind of in that Slauson and Crenshaw right here. That Slauson and Crenshaw. That crevice right there, that alley. So here's the thing. Baker Mayfield woke up today. He ain't had that clean Marcellus 8th grade face. He had that semester bump. He got a little something there. He like, damn, this ain't pretty. But it ain't ugly either. Fair. Case Keenum could have went out there and littered his face with all the acne in the world. He could have littered this field up, and we would be like, you got to get rid of Baker Mayfield. We're not in that mindset right now. We're in the mindset of right now of how good does Baker Mayfield look in contrast to what Case Keenum did last night. You add it all up, hey, Case, you got another opportunity, I'm certain, going forward to make your case. Do a little better job of it. Coming up, the trade deadline is approaching, and Deshaun Watson's name is being dropped around the league. We'll tell you who needs the quarterback the most, but first, a lot of drama in Philly between Ben Simmons and the Sixers. We'll tell you if we like how he's handling everything, and that's next on Speak for Yourself. So yeah, Clearasil.
Let's move to the NBA. The latest report on Ben Simmons says he met with the entire team today and accepted everyone needs to take responsibility, including himself. But he also informed them that he's not mentally ready to play yet, and he needs time. Went on to say Simmons reported to the Sixers shoot-around today and was seen engaged around the team. His teammate Tobias Harris responded to the report on Simmons accepting responsibility, tweeting, quote, "and will respect his privacy and space during this time. When he's ready, we will embrace our brother with love and handle our business on the court. That's it. That's all." Close quote. Sell. You like how Ben Simmons is handling this situation?
I do. Now, let me start off by saying I know that Ben Simmons is reluctant in this moment to show what he's doing, show his hand, to play the cards that they have dealt him. But he's learned, and he's learned pretty quickly, that they are playing a different game up there in Philadelphia, so it's time for him to switch it up. Reluctant because this is not him. This is not his personality. This is not his character. He's reluctant to do it this way because he's never played these cards. Like, Ben Simmons goes about his work quietly to us. Now, as a teammate, you may have a different version, but guess what? Y'all need to talk that out as teammates. And I think Ben Simmons subscribes to what most teammates subscribe to. Hey, it's the code. Everything that happens, good, bad, ugly, we keep it in here. But then Ben Simmons looks around, and it's not being kept in here. He's like, damn, y'all gave me these cards. These cards are good in spades. They suck in war. My favorite game. I declare war. I will whoop you up and I declare war. And I don't know how. I'm just good at it. All right. So Ben Simmons is sitting there saying these cards would work in another situation, but y'all want to play a different game. Okay. Now, who are these other players? Let's talk about Joel Embiid, who broke the code, who came out there talking about Ben Simmons after a playoff loss, after a series loss, and says, I don't know. It seems like things turned when Ben Simmons, without saying his name, didn't take that shot. What about the Doc Rivers quote about Ben Simmons, if he's a championship point guard or not? I don't know if I should be answering that question right now. Okay. What about the 76ers and their quest now to get other players and really shooting for the stars in their quest as well, and the fact that they're on their 9th coach since the last time they've been in the finals as well? It seems like everyone is airing out their dirty laundry except Ben Simmons. So Ben Simmons has learned, okay, I got to do it a different way. And he's not trying to take shots back at these people, but at the same time, he wants them to understand y'all got to be accountable too. If we're ever going to be a part of a team dynamic, we need accountability. So I'll save some of the ammunition Ben Simmons has against those individuals for the next lap. But right now, I think Ben Simmons is just like, look, everybody be accountable.
I love the latest report of how Ben Simmons is handling things. I absolutely love. What did Ben Simmons need to do? Bump the fans for a second. Ben Simmons need to tend to his house. His house is his Philadelphia Eagles teammates and coaches. But the Sixers teammates and coaches. It's like Ben Simmons needs to tend to his house. The Sixers teammates and coaches. Fans, we're going to get to y'all in a second if I'm Ben Simmons. But right now, let me handle Embiid. Let me handle Doc Rivers. Everybody in his house. He did that. He had a conversation with them. Oh. Now, we don't know what happened during the course of this conversation, but he had a conversation with them. What we do know is he said, hey, everybody needs to be accountable, myself included. Yeah. I always co-sign that. Ben Simmons is like, look, I'm going to take some responsibility. I will. But you too, y'all need to take some responsibility as well, everyone a part of this Sixers organization. You can't let how you feel about a person change how you feel about an identical situation. I messed up and said Eagles early on. Here is why. Eagles starting right tackle Lane Johnson. He had a 3-game absence during the course of this season. My dog Lane Johnson was drafted 1 year after I showed up in Philly. Phenomenal player, beast. And he came out and he posted, man, I've been dealing with some depression, anxiety issues. It runs in my family. I needed to step away from the game. Okay. So if 6'6", 320-pound Pro Bowl beast right tackle Lane Johnson, as crazy, physically intimidating as he is like, hey, you know what? I got to step away. I got some mental stuff going on. Then I can understand why Ben Simmons would say the exact same thing. They dealing with the same fan base, dealing with the same media, dealing with the same city. Stadiums are literally 200 yards apart. Lane Johnson, right tackle for the Eagles, dealing with some depression, dealing with some anxiety, dealing with some mental issues. I need to step away. Ben Simmons, hey, I'm going to speak to my team, but I'm dealing with some mental stuff right now, and I'm not mentally prepared to play. I'm going to step away. I would just plead with Sixers fans, do not change how you feel about relatively identical situations. The imminent situation simply being, mentally, I'm going to step away. What led them to those situations is different, but the injury is the same. Mentally, I'm fatigued, I'm going to step away. Because of how you feel about a character, don't change how you feel about a situation. I like how Ben Simmons is handling it as of now.
This took a turn. Okay. Ain't nothing wrong with Ben Simmons' mental health and illness. And look, I can sound...
How can you say that?
You know how I can say it?
How?
Because I'm going to tell you this. Ben Simmons is running out of ways to get what he wants. So what he does is what every player has done. Now, if you can diagnose it differently, I will. And I'm not trying to be up here and be callous. But at the same time, I know that when I don't want to play, and we've talked off record about some other players in similar situations, what they gonna say? My back. What else did you say? My head. I have a headache. What else do you say? General soreness. And now what's the new one? Mental health. I'm not trying to discount mental health. I'm just trying to say let's not apply mental health to this situation just because how are you even being disturbed with mental health? Let's talk about Philadelphia if you play in Philadelphia. I played in Philadelphia. Matter of fact, they assaulted me in Philadelphia, throwing that frozen battery at me before. I could actually get a case on them, but I didn't. But the point is, as even Jason Kelce came out and said, play better. Ain't nobody tripping on you. Like, this is a result-based business no matter what you're talking about. Play better. If you're not playing well, probably don't log on. And that's about it. Simple solution. I'm not going down that road with Ben Simmons because I realize Ben Simmons doesn't even want to play the cards he's playing, including the mental health card. But he's playing it right now because what can you do, as you just did? How do you know? That's why my back used to be sore in training camp. How do you know? Because I used to have headaches in training camp. How do you know? Because I had general soreness, coach. Push back on that. I dare you, coach. I'm not saying that Ben Simmons is not in a position where he's stressed. But I'm saying also, if all things were smooth, mental health illness wouldn't be a problem right now.
I agree with that more than likely. I agree with that.
More than likely?
But I think the reason I have to say it's more than likely is because I can't come on national television and say that Ben Simmons unequivocally doesn't have a mental health issue. I'm not within his mind. Now, I would like to co-sign with you that if everything was going well in Philly, then he probably wouldn't have a mental health issue. But I think that the stressor of his mental health issues comes from the fact that everything isn't going well.
But it's the timing of that. Okay, so did you have the mental health issues when you reported? No.
He had it 5 months ago. Rich Paul came out and said Ben Simmons needs to take a step back mentally from the 76ers. So Rich Paul said Ben Simmons ain't say it.
Okay, but now if I need to physically go and get some water, do I have a physical health issue? Like, we can't just use the word and say, it's an umbrella for everything. Calm down there. Love you, Rich Paul. Here's the thing. This is what I wanted to talk about, but I want to talk about what you want to talk about, too, because it's our show. Ben Simmons is sitting there like, damn, how do I make this card that y'all dealt me that doesn't really have value here have more value in this conversation, in this drama? So he looks at Joel Embiid, and he's like, bruh, you try to air me out when I can air you out. Remember when you missed the playoff game, and it was a series-ending playoff game, and you missed it with the knee injury? Did I come out and say you weren't really that hurt? Like, this is the kind of game that Ben Simmons is learning to play on the fly. You weren't really that hurt? He didn't say that. Now, maybe he was that hurt. But the point is, no one even brought that up to create doubt. Did he go up to Embiid when they lose finally and say, dawg, you had the second most turnovers of any player out there in the postseason, 3.8 turnovers a game. Did I say that that's the reason we lost? Did he go to Doc Rivers? Doc Rivers, who I love. Here's the thing about Doc, my man. Has the worst record in series-clinching games in NBA history. Did he say that? Did he say that Doc Rivers has 11 playoff series blown?
Talk about it.
Did he say that? No. Did he also say, Doc, you know what's funny about this situation? Me and Embiid. Didn't you go through something like this before? Did you learn? Chris and Blake? Now, you really want to go into the parallels. Blake kind of reminds me of what you see in Ben Simmons. And Embiid is a little more Chris Paul. They both bark, and you can see that game. It's coming from a mile away. You're going to hear about it 2 miles away, right? But then you see Blake. Blake's like calmer, quieter. And then, you know, Chris barking. Come on, Blake. Come on, Blake. Blake like, look, dog, I was rookie of the year. I jump over gyms. Come on, Blake. Come on, Blake. Look, man, I'm working on my 18-footer. I heard you, Obama. I'm going to do it. And he does it, right? But it's never enough. And it seems like Embiid is kind of Chris Paul and my man Ben Simmons. It ain't never enough. So, yeah, I would depart. And the way I would get distance is say something you couldn't push back on mental health. But I really don't deeply feel that. And I could be wrong, and then come condemn me if I'm wrong. I think this is a situation where he's just like, I need this world to stop spinning. And I needed to stop spinning because you guys are grabbing it and turning it and twisting it.
Yeah, Ben Simmons is falling victim to the person who stays quiet will be perceived as a liar.
Yes.
That's just what it comes down to.
Yes.
Right? If you're sitting in a circle and everybody's like, he did it, he did it, he did it, and you don't ever bother to defend yourself, well, they're not going to believe you, big dog. You just sitting there quiet. Ben Simmons, his issue at hand prior to today, in my mind, was that, you're right, Ben Simmons could have aired out the receipts to Doc Rivers and probably should have. Because Doc Rivers is living off the legend of his championship with the Celtics, but many have perceived that Doc Rivers actually underachieved with that team. Doc Rivers, you formed a big three, and you only got one chip out of it now. And then you went to the Clippers, and you know better than anybody still. You had an incredibly talented roster. You ain't get no chips out of it. You ain't get no finals appearances out of it. If I'm not mistaken, got no Western Conference finals appearances out of it. Somebody please stop me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So Ben Simmons could have called out Doc. Could have went and called out Embiid as well. Embiid, you just now started living up to your potential the last year and a half. But let's not get it twisted. Cats was trusting the process for a whole long time before the process ever came through. But Ben Simmons said none of that. Ben Simmons is a 3-time All-Star in his 4 seasons. He's a 2-time All-Defensive player. He an All-NBA player. You can't tell me he's sorry. You can tell me he can't shoot. But you can't tell me he's sorry. You can tell me he never wanted to work on his jumper. But you can't tell me he never wanted to work, because there's no way that an individual who didn't work in the offseason is going to be a 3-time All-Star in 3 consecutive seasons. Ben Simmons ain't that talented. He ain't talented enough to not put in any work and still roll out All-Star game after All-Star game after All-Star game, plus an All-NBA season just 2 NBA seasons ago. So Ben Simmons is working.
Yes.
He might not be working on exactly what Sixers fans want and need him to be working on, but my dog is working now. Now, to the mental health component.
Let's go.
I think Ben Simmons is going through a lot, Sel. I think that, from what I'm hearing, your mindset sounds like what the Sixers fans' mindset is.
What's that?
In that.
So you don't like me? Talk.
No, I actually like you. In that, I think people are like, oh, Ben Simmons ain't got no mental health issues. Ben Simmons is just a coward. Ben Simmons is just a punk. Ben Simmons needs to toughen up. Jason Kelce, my dog. I love Jason Kelce. I played 3 seasons with him in Philly. He said Eagles fans, they love you if you play well, if you play hard. Where Sixers fans, they love you if you play well, if you play hard. Philadelphia fans, they love you if you play well, if you play hard. That's all conditional. You're going to have some bad games. I'm sorry. You are. Jalen Hurts plays his butt off. He ain't played very well, and Eagles fans are looking like, Deshaun Watson, anybody? So that is conditional. Like, I feel you, Jason Kelce, and for Jason Kelce, I think he should go into the Hall of Fame, so you go ahead and say that. But Ben Simmons, he gonna have some bad games. But the bad is not counteracting the good. The good is not counteracting the bad. I think he going through it.
Well, you can go through it, and physically, like in the pursuit of trying to respect mental health as much as we do physical health, one day we just gonna have to rip off the Band-Aid and say, okay, we do. So guess what? We're gonna look at them in similar fashions. That means you're gonna get criticism as they criticize some people with their physical health. We criticize, you can't even make it to the league without being criticized physically. We're going to put all of the scanners on you. You're going to do your x-rays. We're going to do the MRIs. Oh, he's a little short. How big is his hand? How big are his hands? Oh, well, let's see his arm length, his shoulder length. And then we're going to say, what size is he? Oh, you need to lose a couple pounds down there, don't you, brother? We're going to do that, right? But then when it comes to mental health, oh, umbrella, oh, it's raining. No, wait a minute. What is the issue here? His issue of mental health, yes, I would say he has a mental health problem. His problem is his teammates and his coach outed him, aired out the dirty laundry, and he's like, where they do that at? And then expect us to still come in here, Sixers on 3, 1, 2, 3, Sixers. Nah, bro, we ain't do. Acho, am I a perfect co-host? Hell no. I'm probably an easy-going co-host.
That's true.
I ain't hard to work with. Now, I ain't perfect either. I get you into something. And you be like, sometimes I roll me. I got it. I know me. But at the same time, if you ever looked at these cameras while we doing this right here and went to that level, one, you know I'm a return fire. But two, it's just the way that we supposed to go about it a different way. He had to sit there, and in the worst moment, here, he's the reason. When it was a series, last time I checked, that means more than one game, more than one possession, more than one person. Imagine if that was you, man. You would claim anything just to make them people realize what they did.
So that's, all this goodness in one take. Thank you, sir.
Come on.
The crux of my issue with Ben Simmons is not enough people know or are willing to know how he feels. First off, no fan, the majority of fans have never been professional athletes. But every professional athlete has been a fan. So let me just stop down and say, I need fans to understand they don't know what they don't know. Because no fan has ever been trending nationally positively or negatively based upon what I've done that the world has seen. Ben Simmons has. So real quick, I just need fans to understand, y'all have never been Ben Simmons, but Ben Simmons has been you. So stop down for a second. That's fans, that's beat writers, that's all reporters, everybody. Just know that real quick. Secondly, if I'm a part of a team, and to Marcellus, your point, we all contributing to something.
Good and bad.
Good and bad, we all contributing. And then in defeat, I get blamed publicly by my coach, who I don't blame, because Doc Rivers has been a career underachiever based upon the talent of rosters that he's coached.
Man.
Embiid has been a career underachiever in totality because of his injuries based upon his draft status in that city, a process that everybody was trusting, and we just now seeing the good aspects of the process. If I'm Ben Simmons, imagine how I feel. I have just taken a stand and said, you know what, Ben Simmons, let me imagine how you feel. It's not to say that you are expunged of everything that you have contributed, because Ben Simmons, you ain't played it right. But I know this much. I don't know this much.
I love that.
I know this much. Yeah. I know that I don't know what Ben Simmons is going through, but I'm at least going to listen to the dude, because the dude is a baller.
Yeah, nothing you said was wrong except one part. Oh, there has been a fan trending before. Fireman Ed, no? Anybody? Fireman Ed was that dude. I love that dude. All right, here's the thing. Dead on, bro. Here's the problem. Here's the problem. I've had bad losses in the NFL. Music City Miracle always jumps out as #1 because it was just like, they had to give it a name. It was so damn bad, right? So we know why we lost that game. And in most games, you don't know one play you lost the game. Most games, right? This game, more than any game ever, was one play. And I'm not going to say his name. Usually I do, but I'm not, because I'm trying to protect his mental health. It was his fault. Literally, your fault. We knew that. Did anybody ever come out and say, it's on you, bruh? You would never do that. With the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense last year, imagine Patrick Mahomes actually was Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl and they won. Would they have looked back post-game press conference and said, well, you know, Tom Brady was supposed to come here to save the day. We got close. You know Tom Brady, who had 55% completion percentage. You know who Tom Brady, we bailed out, who had 3 interceptions in the... What? So I just don't understand why all of a sudden we got receipts with these withdrawals and deposits when it's supposed to be a team game.
And I got to co-sign you there. We have to also remember, the law on Twitter is not the law in the locker room. The law on Instagram is not the law in the locker room. The law of fandom is not the law in the locker room. The law in the locker room is, I'm going to cover for my dog. Always. Trayvon Diggs, national television, Cowboys, Patriots, he gets beat. Trayvon Diggs goes to the podium. Man, that was on me. I got beat. Right after that, DeMonte KZ, the safety, goes to the podium. Man, that was on me, Trayvon. You ain't got to take that heat, big dog. That was on me. I got beat. They sit here, Spider-Man meme, pointing at each other, collectively trying to take the blame and cover for the others. Sixers, they get beat. They go to the podium. Embiid, that was on Simmons. He got beat. Doc Rivers, I don't even know if I can win with the dude. That was on him. He got beat. The law of fandom is not the law in the locker room. The Sixers fans have crossed the law of the locker room. Ben Simmons is at fault for everything he is at fault for. Yeah. But let's not act like this organization is all Gucci.
Man, thank you. Finally. We finally made that shot. Something that Ben Simmons can't do. Oh, I'm sorry, your mental health.
That's why I got mental health issues, bro. Because of you. That whole block, you're going to ruin it. You're not allowed to read the teas. I have to. That was rude and disrespectful. Coming up, Baker Mayfield was out, but Case Keenum helped get the Browns a win last night. We'll tell you if Cleveland should stick with their backup quarterback next. Marcellus, you in timeout.
I'll play for them. I can say whatever. It's on them. Welcome back. Just hours away from Game 6 of the ALCS. Minute Maid Park in Houston. Look at that. Coverage starts right here, 7 Eastern on FS1 and the Fox Sports app. The Red Sox will look to force a Game 7 on the road, while the Astros are 1 win away from clinching their 3rd AL pennant in the last 5 seasons. My Dodgers avoided elimination last night, so we could be looking at 2 Game 7s this weekend. All right, y'all, let's get back to the NFL. Mike 51. And the Browns had to adjust without an injured Baker Mayfield last night. But Case Keenum stepped up with nearly 200 passing yards and added a touchdown pass to help lead Cleveland over the Broncos. After the game, Kevin Stefanski said Baker will be out there as soon as he can. But he did not give a timetable on his return. So, Acho, Panky, should the Browns stick with Case Keenum?
Yes. Because the Browns have the opportunity to answer the question that will haunt them otherwise.
I love it.
And the question or questions are the thought, do we give up what is good to
you going there?
Better? Yeah. Question or questions are the thoughts.
You going there? Go.
The guy who had it good and wanted it great made it worse. That's one ideology, okay, Browns? You have it good, you want to make it better, you can make it worse. Yeah. But the other ideology is that, well, if you try to chase perfection, or rather, if you have Baker Mayfield, you already have it good enough. So, that's what the Browns have to figure out how to answer. You have to figure out how to answer. Do we try to make it better, but we might make it worse, or do we just sit content at having it good enough? Keeping Case Keenum allows you to answer that question. Keeping Case Keenum as your starter allows you to figure out, Baker Mayfield, how responsible are you? I got to go back to the movie, Sal. I got to go back to the movie.
Which one, Friday?
No.
Oh.
I watched that movie.
No, you was about to say something.
I watched it.
I watched lose your card.
I watched it. Y'all don't start tweeting.
You was about to say, I ain't never
seen two people tweeting me, checking me, okay? I did watch it.
You ain't seen Friday, dog?
I did, man. I watched it. It was a sequel to Thursday, right? No? No, okay. I'll just kidding. No, I'm kidding. It was a joke.
I know it wasn't. It was so good.
Okay. It's a Friday show. Okay, really, here's the thing.
Okay, I'm with you.
In the movie Hall Pass, the dudes that are married to the women give them a weekend. They're like, hey, okay, see if y'all can go get somebody else. See how good you have it or how good you don't have it. It was a movie Hall Pass. The dudes, they went out, tried to chase these other women. They all struck out. They realized, that was dumb. Hey. But in reality, in real life, you don't get a Hall Pass. Once you in a relationship with somebody, you in that relationship with that person unless you in that relationship. In the NFL, you don't get a Hall Pass. Once your quarterback is your quarterback, he's your quarterback unless the quarterback gets hurt. Browns, y'all have a Hall Pass.
I like
this
it.
Hall Pass is allowing y'all to date Case Keenum. In dating Case Keenum, you can figure out how much do we really love Baker Mayfield. Browns, y'all have the opportunity to answer a question that most other organizations don't have the opportunity to answer. Can we get better than our quarterback, or should we just be content with who our quarterback is? Stay with Case Keenum until you get that question answered.
Hell yeah, I'm with you. They are going to stick with Case Keenum until they get that answered fully. I'm talking about complete sentence, completely answered in this situation. The rooting interest, as I explained earlier, is for Case Keenum to go out there and show us what you got. And we're going to give you the freedom. We're going to give you the acreage. We're going to give you the opportunity to show us, Case. Because if you show it to us, we understand what the difference is in between price and value. Because right now, the price for Baker Mayfield is sky high. But is the value for him sky high? Case Keenum, you make your case, and we can see how his value is going to be impacted. Here's the problem. Oh, God, Lord. If you're Baker Mayfield, and I've been here before, I've been the starter in a situation where I didn't want that guy behind me to come take my job. Remember, I told you in Buffalo, my first year starter, they drafted a first-round defensive end. If that ain't a notice, like, hey, bro, you better show up or show out or get out. And then also, I've been the backup to a Phil Hansen and a Bruce Smith. My turn. Let me get some of that as well. And they're always having this price/value conversation upstairs. So now you look at this situation, and it's as simple as what DJ Quick said. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense.
I know that one.
You know that one, right? And guess what? Make a lot of sense to pay Case Keenum little dollars. But in this situation, it doesn't make sense to give Baker Mayfield all of those dollars when it's a glorified handoff. Like, that's all we getting out of you. And if Case Keenum could give us a facsimile of that, something approximate of that, we gonna ride with Case Keenum. Right now, Case Keenum, he's in the clear. Like, nothing's gonna disturb it. You hear reports, Jay Glazer, boy, I love me some Jay Glazer. I love me some Michael Silver. I love me some Jim Trotter. I love guys who are not only reporters and do their jobs, insiders, but they also the homie. But one thing that comes, I've been the player before, who has talked to a Jay Glazer, to a Michael Silver, to a Jim Trotter, is you give them more than you should. And in this situation, my man Baker Mayfield, you don't know right from wrong. You gave him more than you should. You told him, hey, Jay, guess what? Not only do I got the torn labrum, I got a fracture up here, and my rotator cuff won't even activate. And Jay does his job. But guess what? The organization's sitting up there twiddling their fingers like, we got time now. Because he just done told the world that he got real problems. Enough runway to be in the clear for Case Keenum, and then it's going to get gray area. Hey, Case, what's your case? And then it's going to turn dark. We got to make a decision, but that's weeks away thanks to the ammunition that Baker Mayfield gave, and also because Case Keenum so far has been looking approximate to what Baker Mayfield is.
The reason also I'd stick with Case Keenum is because I look at both Case Keenum and Baker Mayfield as garnish. You know when you go to a nice restaurant, Sal, and they put some garnish on top of the meal, and oftentimes you have to ask yourself, well, do I remove the garnish? Is the garnish edible? And the waiter's like, yeah, it's just kind of there for decoration. You can eat it if you want to. You can take it off if you want to. The garnish is not adding any problems to your meal, but it's not doing anything for your meal. Case Keenum, he ain't add much to the Browns yesterday, but he ain't hurt the Browns. Baker Mayfield, he hasn't added much to the Browns all season, 6 touchdown passes, 6 games, but he hasn't really hurt the Browns. I look at both Case Keenum and Baker Mayfield as garnish. You not go in there for the garnish. You go in there for the meal. And the meal is the running backs. Even Dearness Johnson went out there and balled. The meal is Myles Garrett, sack and a half. Jadeveon Clowney, half a sack. The meal is the running game, the pass rush. The quarterbacks are just the garnish. So if you telling me I might have to pay $200 million, Baker Mayfield, for some garnish, I might want to pump the brakes on that because I'm not there for the garnish, and I can actually do without the garnish. Now, if you telling me that Baker Mayfield is a whole side dish and maybe even an encore, an entree, that's one thing. But as long as they both just garnish, I'm content with Case Keenum for now until proven otherwise.
Man, let's stay in your restaurant. I never asked that question. I always felt like real ghetto.
You eat the garnish or you take it off?
I don't know what. I just play it off. I eat some and then I get some on the side too. I just felt bad. I also felt bad at times where I was like, I didn't know where my fork's supposed to go, my knife and all that. But it's all right. Nobody clown me because I'm paying for the bill. So here's the thing. If you look at this, let's go to Acho's restaurant, right?
Please.
The garnish. All right, we had Acho's. Damn, it's loud in here. All right, we had Acho's, right? All right, Acho, let's go. I like your place. I've seen this happen too many times, and it's happening right here. Where Acho, you are a little removed. It's your restaurant. You ain't in the restaurant every single day, cleaning the tables, serving the tables, cooking up the dishes. So you trust in someone. And you're like, this restaurant is making me a ton of money. This restaurant is doing well. And it's because of Marcellus, the chef, right? And I'm doing my thing. You know me, I don't miss any days. I'm working, I'm cooking, garnish on, garnish off, whatever you want. Hey, this is Acho's restaurant, and I'm his head chef. And then one day, MJ, he got a soccer game. I gotta go. It's the championship, national tournament, right? And then, guess who shows up? Slick Rick. And he just come in the kitchen, and then you hear one person say, oh my God, today, this is really tasty. I mean, it's always good, Mr. Acho, but today is a... And then you know Slick Rick, you get him for the low. That's Slick, right? Versus me, I'm gonna cost. I need these baggy suits paid for. So here's the thing. This is a problem. There were some positives if you're Case Keenum. The Browns last night, season best on third down, 60%. They hadn't reached 50% in the previous 6 games. There were some positives last night, 17-point score. You're like, that ain't a lot. Except 2 of the last 3 games for Baker Mayfield, they only have 14 points. And this is without both running backs and Odell, who went down. There were some positives last night. You can look at them, 194 net passing yards, second lowest of the season. However, Browns are 4-0 when they have under 210 yards, and 0-3 when they have over it. Maybe the way that this is going to taste is going to be better with the lesser. Slick Rick, this job is yours. Coming up, Deshaun Watson has not played this season, but his name is in the trade rumor mill. Tell you how much and which team needs him most. That's next on Speak for Ya. Hey, Acho, stay calm. The NFL trade deadline, Acho Hot, is about a week away, and Deshaun Watson's name is being dropped around the league. Giraffe. The 3-time Pro Bowler has not played a snap this season, but the Houston Chronicle reported a trade to the Dolphins could happen this week. Now, The Athletic reports the Texans have also spoken to the Eagles and Panthers about a deal. Interesting. So, Acho, who needs Deshaun Watson the most?
The Panthers need Deshaun Watson like I need somebody to run that clip back and put me with an adequate suitor. Okay? Got me out here with what's wrong with
raggedy out here in the streets.
Wrong, man. I work too hard in the gym and for these suits for y'all to have me with some makeshift.
That's what you single for? Let me stop.
Anyway, Panthers. The Panthers need Deshaun Watson the most. And the reason I think it's the Panthers that need Deshaun Watson the most is the Panthers, ever since David Tepper took over as the owner, they've been trying to win immediately. I respect David Tepper and what he got going on. He's like, hey, I ain't waiting. First at bat, he said, Teddy Bridgewater, let's see what you can do, big dog. I'm going to sign you to a quick deal, see what you got going on. Teddy Bridgewater, you were okay, but not good enough. You got to keep it pushing. Sam Darnold, I'm going to trade for you. I'm going to give up a second. I'm going to see what you got going on. Sam Darnold, you look all right, but I assume I can probably do better. If I'm Tepper, if I'm the Panthers, you bring in a college coach who's built up programs from Temple to Baylor. So you do that. You bring in the best offensive coordinator in college, Joe Burrow's offensive coordinator, when LSU went 15-0, and you saw what happened after Joe Brady left. You saw what's up with Coach O. You bring in the best offensive coordinator in college. You say, I'm going to do that. You might as well bring in one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL and see what can happen. You got to assume Christian McCaffrey will eventually get right and stay right. Hopefully, I pray that he does. DJ Moore, you got talent at the wide receiver position. Robbie Anderson, you got talent at the wide receiver position. I think the Panthers, of all the suitors, whether it's the Panthers, the Eagles, the Texans, the Dolphins, of all the potential Deshaun Watson suitors, the Panthers are the only ones that won't squander his talent. He goes to Philly. Nick Sirianni, I don't think will be there very long. They also don't know how to utilize their second overall pick from 3 years ago, Miles Sanders. You go to the Dolphins, I don't think they'll utilize his talents very well. Their offensive line, they have that in shambles, haven't been able to piece all that together. But if you go to the Panthers, you got a coach that cares that's going to be there in Matt Rule. You got an offensive coordinator that cares. I don't know how long Joe Brady will be there, though, because he's a beast. And you got an owner who's trying to win right now. For that reason, Deshaun Watson got to go to Carolina.
Interesting. Acho, let me say this. Who needs Deshaun Watson the most? No team should want Deshaun Watson as their franchise quarterback.
You don't mean that.
Yep. I'm going to say this again. I'm going to say this again because you
don't mean that.
No team should want Deshaun Watson as their franchise quarterback outside of the team that already has him as their franchise quarterback. But we're not going to have that conversation. We're going to have the conversation you just wanted to have, that you just wanted to manufacture, that Philly should want him. Don't even do that. Miami should want him. Don't even do that. And Carolina should want him. And you did that. What are you talking about? Oh, Wiley up here cooking, as they say in these streets. Let's talk about why he wouldn't fit in the Carolina Panthers locker room. There's two questions I'm going to always ask you, and I haven't got a good answer yet about Deshaun Watson, and make them add up and make sense. One, why is he so good, so great, so elite, and it doesn't add up to overall team success? I understand that there couldn't be an explanation for that, but I want to hear from you. And second of all, off the field, can you make that make sense? And when will that come to conclusion so that it can make sense to my team financially in terms of resources? Because Deshaun has a cap hit that hits north of $40 million in each of the next 2 seasons. But if you're telling me he can't play, because right now he's not playing, and right now there's no ruling from the NFL, why would I bring that in? Acho, give it to me before I give you my Carolina take.
Yes, sir. The very simple reason that Deshaun Watson has a record of 28-25, he had a bad season. He went 4-12. So now the question is, why did he have a bad season? Well, because his head coach got fired in the middle of this season. Now, his head coach ain't even good. But I'd rather have a head coach than no head coach. Again, just because your head coach ain't good doesn't mean the environment without him will be better. Like, give me some sort of stability in my life. My homeboy, one of my closest friends, he's a social worker. So he deals with amazing human beings. But the problem is, every night I call him, hey, bro, you good? How you living? Man, I just had to take these kids from these parents, had to put them in a foster house. And I asked him, I said, are the foster houses always safer? And he says, man, not necessarily, because even though the parents I'm taking them from aren't the greatest, you don't necessarily know about the turmoil and the transition from one environment to another. Bill O'Brien, we know, was not the greatest head coach. But Deshaun Watson had a lot of turmoil going from Bill O'Brien to another coach in the middle of the season. I can't blame him for that. He went 4-12. Now to the bigger question.
Oh, really?
I know this much. And you said, well, why would the team want Deshaun Watson in the midst of all the off-the-field issue? Remember, they have been trying to get Deshaun Watson to settle. But if Deshaun Watson knows, because he's Deshaun Watson, that he's innocent, and somebody wants me to settle for something of which I know I'm innocent, then I probably do not want to settle, because why would I want to settle with somebody if I know I'm innocent? Now, I might have a different perspective. You might have a different perspective. You, the viewer, I know y'all got different perspectives. But if I'm going to make the assumption that Deshaun Watson is saying I'm innocent, then the thing that might be keeping him from playing ball is, no, I'm not going to settle, because why would I settle when I'm innocent? So those are the two answers to your questions. Now that them questions is answered, somebody should want Deshaun Watson.
Okay, I like that. I like that. I just want to make sure that we distance settlement from innocence or guilt, because when you big bank take little bank, and when big bank is getting affected by little bank, just pay for little bank to go away. But that's not all situations.
But the bigger question you've asked me is, why does a team not want him?
Yeah.
And I know this much. Innocent, guilty, unfortunately, the NFL does not care about that.
No,
what the NFL and what teams care about are, can you play or can you not?
Right.
And you can't play if you have outstanding legal allegations.
Yeah.
You can play if those outstanding allegations are dismissed, subsided to whatnot. So speaking from different perspectives.
Okay, you know me, I love to win an argument, especially using your words and your logic against you.
Yes, sir.
So we take that 4-12 out, right? Because even though his record overall is really 29-35. God dog. Wait a minute, Marcel. You said, what you started to make it sound like 28-10? 29-35. The 4 years before he got there, they were 29-35. 4 years with him, 29-35. You want to take away 4-12? Let's do that. 25-23. Elite? Okay. Same as Fitzpatrick, Case Keenum. Hey, Case, you everywhere. Ryan Mallett, Brian Hoyer, TJ Yates, Brandon Whedon, Deshaun, Brock Osweiler, and Tom Savage. Boys, 21. Stop playing with me. Now, Acho, let's have a conversation.
Please, an uncomfortable one. I
ain't giving up on young talent for Deshaun Watson, and I know he's a young talent. I'm not giving up on my young talent that hasn't taken root yet, especially in Carolina, for Deshaun Watson. Notice this with me, Acho, that there aren't more teams involved. There are 32 teams in the league, right? And we know that they all don't need quarterbacks. But let's just say that Deshaun Watson, let's just say he's top 10 for sure, right? 22 teams out there that Deshaun Watson is easily better than your quarterback, correct? But then there's a couple situations where you're like, he's better, but why give up on him because ours is good enough, right? So let's just say half the league should be wanting Deshaun Watson because Deshaun's is a better quarterback than yours, and your situation isn't so rooted that you shouldn't get him out of here. How come there are only 3 teams involved in the conversation, and the report said we're trying to drive up interest from other teams? I don't know. If Matthew Stafford was available, he was just available. And when he was available, friendships were lost. People were going to war. People were stuck on runways trying to get Matthew Stafford. And people ain't dying for Deshaun Watson? I wonder why. Why aren't 10, 15, 20 teams interested? Because they're listening to me. Let's talk about this, though. This is my last thing. Would you give up on Sam Darnold for Deshaun Watson when, in terms of yards per game, they're only different in 13 yards per game? Would you give up for that? You would? Oh, no, I wouldn't. What about in passer rating? They're only 8 points away. Would you give up? 8?
Big number.
101 to 109? You get
big number.
But once you over 100, we good. We Gucci, man. Completion percentage, 65 or 69. Is that a really big number? 65?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Enough to give up on them? Okay. What about yards per attempt? 8.5 or 8.1? Yes! You're not going to do that again.
That would.
Oh, that would. What about touchdown-interception ratio? Y'all been sleeping on Sam Darnold, dog. And he played for the Jets.
But here's why.
3 to 3.5?
Here is why. If we know that games of football, sometimes literally, most times figuratively, are decided by a blade of grass. Literally, they're decided by a yard.
Yeah.
Then if you're telling me a 4% completion percentage, a 8 points passer rating, like if you're telling me that there is a difference between Deshaun and Sam Darnold, and a difference between Deshaun and Tua, and a difference between Deshaun and Jalen Hurts, and the game of football is decided by this much, then yeah, I'm looking for this much.
Me too.
I'm looking for a gain of this much.
Yeah.
So Deshaun Watson, if he's a difference maker, I need a difference made.
I do. At what cost, though? Ask Russell Wilson how that feels. 4th highest cap hit going forward. Who are we going to play with? He can't hand the ball off and throw the ball off and catch the ball and run the ball. He ain't going to have no teammates.
Nick Foles could.
Coming up, Lamar Jackson's Ravens are the hottest team in the AFC. You and Nick Foles. Dog. But we'll tell you if they're also the best team in the conference. That's next on Speak for Yourself.
Let's head to Baltimore. Lamar Jackson's Ravens, they riding high, 5-game win streak. But next up is a matchup at home against the 4-2 Bengals. Now, Baltimore currently has the 3rd best odds to win the AFC, according to Fox Bet Sportsbook, and are only trailing the Chiefs and the Bills. So, Sal, are the Ravens the best team in the AFC?
I have to say yes, they are. Look, my Buffalo Bills, my Bills Mafia, my fandom for my former team, obviously, I'm going through a little bit in this conversation. But I would say the Baltimore Ravens are the best team in the AFC. First, let's talk about why they can be the best team in the AFC. Because of their leader, because of their quarterback, because of Lamar Jackson. Read a great article about Lamar Jackson that basically said he's redefining the laws of nature. And I was like, that's one way to make me read this article, but boy, is that a hot take right there, until they broke it down. Do you know this year, Lamar Jackson is throwing the ball longer distances, more accurately, without taking more time in the pocket, and without getting sacked at a higher rate? Damn, dog. No wonder it doesn't matter who's the running back. No matter who he hands the ball off to, whoever's around him. Lamar Jackson is redefining the laws of nature. Nowhere are you supposed to get a greater distance in ball throwing it that far, and it gets more accurate, and then you're not even taking more time to do it, and y'all not getting to me either. Lamar Jackson has recalculated his situation and is going to come out on top no matter what you throw at him, and even more so, no matter what is hindering him in terms of injuries on his team. Now, let's compare him and let's compare them to the Buffalo Bills. I start to look at it and I say, oh, the Ravens rank higher than the Bills in total offense, and rush defense. Let's think about it. If you can run the ball, stop the run, got a chance, especially if you got that quarterback. Everyone goes back to last year. This ain't last year. This team is stronger in a way that's weird because they're weaker in terms of personnel, but their leader has now done something that we haven't seen quarterbacks do, which is redefine the laws of nature.
I co-sign. The Ravens are absolutely the best team in the AFC. The only real contender is the Bills, in my opinion. The Chiefs, I love them, but right now they ain't doing it.
Oh, stop.
So it's the Bills.
Yeah.
Last year, the Ravens were one play worse than the Buffalo Bills. The playoffs were decided by that interception that went the other way. That's a 14-point swing.
Yep.
The game was a 14-point game.
Yeah.
The Baltimore Ravens have gotten one play better, and Lamar Jackson has gotten one play better. The Baltimore Ravens are a better football team than the Bills. But beyond that, let's talk about something the fans can't always see. To me, the Ravens are the hungrier of the teams in football. The Ravens are the third oldest team in the AFC. Now, age doesn't always equate to hunger, but when you got players that have tasted success and greatness before, they want that taste again. When you got a coach, Jim Harbaugh, that has tasted greatness before, he wants that taste again. I'm reminded very simply, Calais Campbell against the Colts. Ravens are about to lose that game if the Colts make that field goal to go up by 2 scores with 4 minutes left. Calais Campbell, who's been to a Super Bowl before in his first 2 years of play with the Arizona Cardinals, he wants to get back. I know Calais Campbell. He was a groomsman in my brother's wedding. He's hungry, and he's a leader of that defense. He goes through the line. He blocks a field goal. Field goals rarely get blocked in the NFL. Blocks a field goal. Game goes into OT. Ravens win. In a game of football that is decided by one play and a play made by one person, Lamar Jackson has proven to be that one person, and the Ravens have players that are hungrier than I think all the other contenders are. Ravens are better. Ravens are hungrier. Ravens are the best team in the AFC.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I'm sorry, 2 of my other, it's not just the Buffalo Bills. The LA Chargers as well in this conversation, and you brought up the Chiefs as well. Tons and tons of ammunition in terms of rankings of why the Ravens are the better team. But let's go deeper than that. Let's go to the fact that if you look at Lamar Jackson and his passing efficiency and his passing proficiency, that's the difference. Like, you always thought of the Ravens as, oh, this great running team that can throw the ball adequately, can strike, make big plays, but can't consistently, methodically move the ball down the field with Lamar's shoulder. I don't know why, if that was reality or perception, but it was something that was of conversation. Oh, no more. Lamar Jackson is just one of only 8 quarterbacks with a passing touchdown in every game this season. Like, Lamar's doing some crazy stuff, and it's just going unnoticed or unrecognized in terms of respect. He already led the league in passing touchdowns. People still calling him a running back and then joking about it, saying, oh, it's just a joke. Okay, whatever. 11 straight games overall with a passing touchdown. That's Lamar Jackson. Not bad for a running quarterback, excuse me, right there. You look at the Ravens, toughness comes to mind. Like, the Ravens, and what is toughness? Like, I hate when people's like, I'm tougher than you. And you're like, well, prove it. You can't prove it. The only way you prove it is if you go through something and come out of it. That's when toughness shows itself. You can't predict toughness. You got to see it and react to toughness. I'm looking at this team right now with Lamar Jackson and how prolific they are in their deficiencies. We already know how good they are in the ways they're supposed to be good. But in the things that we projected to be bad and to be weakness for them, now all of a sudden it's a strength.
I also believe that at this point, the Ravens can solidify they're the best team in the AFC this weekend against the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow been looking good.
Okay.
Bengals making some noise. Bengals look hungry.
Okay.
We know the Chiefs aren't currently the best team in the AFC. They might be in about 15 weeks, but right now, they're not.
Right.
So who are the true primary contenders in the AFC? As I look at it, it's the Bills, and the Bills are good.
Damn good.
Exactly right. But if you better than the Bills, and I think the Ravens right now have proven that they are, now you got to look around at what team might snipe you. And the Bengals are sitting there scratching at the heels of the Baltimore Ravens. I think they are.
The Bengals?
As crazy as it may
They
be.
get declawed. They're not declawed.
If the Bengals beat the Ravens this weekend, they win in the AFC North as it stands right now through 7 weeks. First time since 2015. So I think the Ravens know who's ahead of them. But to end this block, track and field. When you kick at the end of that race and you know you're about to catch this person, it's not necessarily the person in front of you got to worry about, because you can gauge their speed. They're in front of you. But what about the person coming from behind you? The Bills are either right in front or neck and neck with the Baltimore Ravens. That's fine. I can gauge their speed. But it's the Bengals with Joe Burrow that's sprinting that I don't actually know the speed they're coming with. The Ravens need to prove this weekend, and I think they can. They're the best team.
Oh, great point. Yesterday, you had a point about you can't be number one if you're not number one in something. What was that?
If you're not number one in something, you can't be number one in everything. Over.
Yeah. And then people kept talking about decathletes, and they were like how they don't win the individual high jump, they don't win the individual long jump,
but they can win
the whole thing. So, yeah, I ain't want to put you on the spot, but I just had to put you on the spot. Coming up, Baker Mayfield had to sit out last night. Sometimes wisdom of the crowd. Y'all need to come up here and do my job. But what about his future? We'll tell you where the Browns should go from here, and that's next on Speak for Yourself. Baker Mayfield had to watch from the sidelines last night. Case Keenum stepped in to help lead the Browns to a win over the Broncos. Yeah! The report says he's expected to require surgery for his torn labrum, but the belief is he can deal with the injury through the season. Our own Jay Glazer reports Baker told him he needs the fracture in his humerus bone to heal before he can get back on the field. Acho, where do the Browns go from here with Baker?
It's twofold. The Browns, number one, hope Baker Mayfield gets better. Number one, just because you're a halfway decent organization, a highly decent organization. I know the Hasms. And number two, hope Case Keenum keeps balling.
Yeah.
You need Baker Mayfield to get better because you want 2 quality quarterbacks on the roster, point blank, period. So you don't want Baker Mayfield to stay hurt. Baker, please get better. But also, Keenum, I need you to keep balling because the NFL does not care about players. It cares about performance.
Yes.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
I don't care about players. So as much as we love Baker Mayfield and want to love Baker Mayfield, that is we being the Cleveland Browns organization, we'd rather Case Keenum ball. Case Keenum only cost us $6 million next year. Baker, you cost us $18 next year. Now, the combined total is still only $24 million. So if that's what we got to pay for a starting quarterback, we not tripping. But we really want Case Keenum to ball because I'd rather the cheaper person be the better person, period.
Go ahead.
You need to continue to let Baker Mayfield feel as though he's the leader, feel as though he's the captain, but you want to go ahead and have Case Keenum be the leader, Case Keenum be the captain. So I know in so many of these old school, old traditional households, I don't know what level, side of the playing field y'all fall in, so many of these traditional marriage households, I've heard OGs tell me, man, you know, my wife really runs the show, but she lets me think I run the show.
Yeah, it's a
right?
thing.
And I think that's how the Browns need to handle their situation.
Ooh.
You need to let Baker Mayfield think he's running the show. Well, Case Keenum, hey, Baker, you good? You good, man? Get healthy, Baker. We want to make sure you come back right to lead us down our playoff run. That's how coaches do you in the locker room. Oh, my God, I hate it. We want to make sure we just want to make sure you're fully healthy. Oh, yeah. Because the guys are going to need you, man. Guys are going to need you. You're going to need you all in. Baker, we need you all in, man. No. Don't sit in the box. We want you on the sidelines, Baker. We need this team can do nothing without you. Meanwhile, all right, Case, go out there and lead us, man. You gotta, I hate how it works. I hate how the game works.
You hate that?
I hate how
I love that.
I've been the dude getting played.
And you've been a player, too.
That's fair.
Okay, don't forget the good days. UT. You went to UT. I went to Columbia. Oh, I got played. Then it works out. But then it works out for you, too. So guess what? Don't hate the game. Oh, God. Here's the thing. This is what they should want from Baker Mayfield. Oh, my God. Drag this thing on out. We gonna wait and see. We gonna delay. Because in any relationship that ends, and let's just say this potentially can end, Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns. Oh, I said that, I'm sorry. But this is reality. This is the NFL. It is performance-based, especially when the performance comes at that price. Then you have to look at it differently. So, as I always tell you, in any relationship that ends, you spend half the time breaking up. Ooh. And right now...
Wait, give me that bar again. I need it.
Come back,
I'm too buttoned up.
Okay, you are.
That bar,
Let me do a versus. And speaking of that, let me digress real quick. KRS-One, you got too many hits, man. Why you go on that stage and yell all them hits, man? Big Daddy Kane just smoothed it out. Big Daddy Kane top 5 for me all the time. But... KRS-One should have destroyed him and didn't. I know you didn't watch it.
They still be running verses?
I can't talk to you right now.
Bro, you know
your card is in my pocket.
Working, big dog.
You are working. You're doing it big, too. I respect that. Okay. In any relationship that ends, you spend half the time breaking up. And those breakups start where? Red Lobster. When y'all yelling over what? The butter rolls or whatever they call them. And you over there, why y'all beefing right here? Oh, just a matter of time before this thing comes to an end. Baker Mayfield, they've been waiting and debating for so long, shout out to LL, for you to finally give them an opportunity to either say, we gonna pay him, or get him out the way so we can see what he's worth. And now, insertion point. Case Keenum shows up. I am ready for this moment. Oh, excuse me. I am built for this, quote, unquote. Now we got a problem. Because upstairs, and I've been upstairs, and that's why I say don't hate the game. Just look at the player, but like, look, sometimes you're going to win, sometimes you're going to lose. I've been upstairs, man, when they've been talking good about somebody, and I've been upstairs when they're talking bad about me. Now, when they did it to me, I was downstairs. I wasn't privy to those conversations, but this is how it goes. Baker, you out here balling, man. Look, we're going to pick up your fifth-year option, blah, blah, blah. You show us what we want, we got you. And then he's not. So then, at practice, you got to give him one conversation, right? Rally the troops, everybody. Baker's your leader. Upstairs, they're like, we got problems. Because our offense is not going to be able to play optimal ball with Baker Mayfield because when I need a game-winning drive, he throws the ball to the other team, Kansas City Chiefs. When I need a game-winning drive, he goes check down Charlie, L.A. Chargers. So now they look at Case Keenum when they needed to just milk the clock. What do? They threw a pass, 8-yard pass, Hooper. All of a sudden, we run the ball, milk the clock, we kneeling down. We ain't even got to worry about that. And we get the dub. Baker Mayfield, he needs to be concerned, not worried, as we said earlier, concerned that Case Keenum could actually answer something he hasn't done just yet.
I posed the rhetorical question, but I want to ask you as we maybe potentially pivot the dialogue. If you're the Browns and you got Baker, it really comes down to your favorite quote of the guy who had it good and wanted it better, made it worse. The Browns, you have it good with Baker Mayfield. Yes, you want it better, but you might make it worse. Or it comes down to good is the enemy of great.
Yes.
So while you have it good, you will never be great because good is the enemy of great.
Come on.
Where you fall, big dog, because I'm wrestling like, I got Baker. I know it can get worse. Johnny Manziel was worse. Brandon Weeden was worse. The litany of quarterbacks before Baker since the turn of the century were all worse. I know, Browns fans, it can get worse. But good's the enemy of great, and it can get better because Herbert is better. Mahomes is better. Burrow is better.
Yeah.
Jackson is better.
Yeah.
Allen is better. All these young quarterbacks in the AFC are better, not to mention the NFC. Kyler is better. Dak is young and better. Deshaun turned 26 about 38 days ago. When he come back playing, he's better. I just named 8 quarterbacks about 28 years old or younger. Where you land on a landscape?
Let me give it to you. And I give it to you, you know me, like a walking Bible. My people hate me. My friends hate me, the ones that actually hang out with me, not like you, because I talk it like parables. I talk it like this circular logic. I don't go direct to it, but I'm going to get there. I'm going to get direct. Okay, if you ever wake up, Acho, you wake up in the morning. I heard you've been working out early in the morning, right? If you ever wake up and you're like, should I work out, should I not? Always work out because you're debating it. Why do I bring that up? Because there are going to be times where you don't debate it. I ain't working out today. Don't work out that day. But the days you ever get it into your mind, it's a debate, always go. You will find out as you continue to build that, wow, that is giving me advancement. Why do I bring that up? Because here's a debate. Baker Mayfield, yes. Baker Mayfield, no. His debate is not like the workout. His debate is like the Hall of Fame. Give me a name.
Matt Ryan.
He ain't in. You know why? Because I had to think about it. I had to debate it. If I got a Hall of Famer he is there. If I got to go,
Eli Manning.
My Hall of Fame, but I ain't in either.
Phillip Rivers. Frank Gore.
He in. But my point is this. It's like some things are just so obvious. And then sometimes you get caught up in the debate. I hate the debate because that means I shouldn't go forward with it. And I'm not giving somebody $200 million and I'm still stuck in debate mode.
Okay.
You know what? It's like the Hall of Fame. If I ain't got to debate it, he getting his 200. Lamar Jackson.
Of course.
See how that felt?
Of course.
Now you say Baker Mayfield, and all of a sudden you feel torn.
But let's
so that's why he don't get it.
But some purchases you're reluctant to make. You know this. Mahomes right now. And when the purchase is high, and your boy looking right now, I'm out here looking in these low Hollywood heels.
I heard.
Low Hollywood heels got. Let me see what these low Hollywood heels got. Okay, I want a view. I want a pull. What else do I want? Paula Patton. Anyway, as I'm looking in these low Hollywood heels, Sal, I'm reluctant to spend this amount of money. It's not that it's not worth it, but it's just, is it worth it at this cost? But this is what the market dictates the price I have to pay.
Yeah.
The market dictates Baker Mayfield is a $35, $40 million quarterback. Now, I don't know that Baker Mayfield is worth it. I don't like the kitchen, man. Bathroom, how come you ain't got another door separating the toilet? Come on now. Countertops, we ain't got granite? What's up with this now? I don't know if Baker Mayfield is worth it, but the market is dictating I have to pay it. But just because I'm hesitant to pay it doesn't mean I shouldn't.
Oh, I love that comeback. I used to live in Hollywood Hills. Trust me, you're gonna have to cut some. You're gonna have to take some off the top. Like it won't come perfect. And if it does, damn, you spend a whole lot of money. Like it's just always gonna be an issue. Well, yeah, see, exactly. But you're not waiting for the perfect house in a real estate situation.
Okay,
you know what you're doing? You're hoping that this market changes. You're hoping that price comes down to increase that value, right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. In NFL, franchise quarterbacks, it ain't going backwards. It's only going up. So right now, your conversation isn't, okay, Baker doesn't do this. He does this, but will he ever be cheaper? You already know the answer. So you got to be either all in, and that is a ride you're going to take in inflation all the way up, or you got to cut bait. They couldn't cut bait because they didn't know his value. But when your backup comes in and looks damn near just like you, your value is going to drop because that price is too damn high.
But don't you at least, if I'm the Browns, right, because I know how bad it's been without Baker, I'm just going to hold on to Baker as long as possible until I got something else. Yeah, I can see
Don't
Baker.
do that.
Here's the thing.
That's post-traumatic stress.
I can see Baker getting tagged. I'm telling you right now, I can see Baker like, okay, Baker, you're going to play the season, but he has to have surgery on his torn labrum. Those are what the reports are saying.
Yes.
So he has surgery in the offseason. I'm not going to sign him to a long-term deal.
Yes, we're saying the same thing.
I let him play through next season. Tag, you're it.
Yes.
I could see him getting tagged.
Dual tagged. He might get Kirk Cousins out here. I mean, look, it ends well for Baker if it's Dak Prescott. Get tagged and you get paid. It could be Kirk Cousins. You get tagged. Baker, come on, be real, man. You're still mid-pack in terms of passing. We're 20th ranked and 26th ranked in our passing game right now. I can't give you $200 million. Tag. You still haven't changed your fortunes. We still got the running game leading the charge. You got to go elsewhere and get your money. But the fortunes have changed, and now we can draft to get somebody else in here.
I think here's the real question, then. Is this the Browns' floor or is this the Browns' ceiling? That, I think, is the question. I can't even answer it, and I'm a Browns fan, and I've been watching Browns games long before Baker Mayfield was playing in them. I was playing in I was watching them from the sideline from MCL. But that's the question. Like, I don't know if the Browns will ever be bad again in the imminent future, right? As long as Myles Garrett's there, Denzel Ward is there, as long as you got your DBs there, the offensive line is still young enough to stay there for a while. Nick Chubb under contract, Kareem Hunt going to work that all out, keep him there. As long as the Browns are going to be good for the foreseeable future, as long as this is the Browns' floor, I'm not really worried about Baker Mayfield. Now, if you're telling me this is our ceiling, okay, let me keep Baker Mayfield and hope for the best. But this might just be the worst the Browns are ever going to be.
Man, let's talk. One more layer of this. Okay. I know a lot of people in Hollywood, like actors and kind of stuff like that.
You don't know the real ones I need you to know.
I don't know the ones you see every day on your other show. But I do know that you know some people, right? And we both know them. All right, I don't have that type of brain. I'm not an artistic type, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm not even the type that is like a screenwriter who puts something together and is like, all right, you go out there and perform it. But Kevin Stefanski is.
Yes, sir.
But in his own way, this is how his performance art is kind of being, let's just say, sabotaged. He's writing up this play, this script, and he's like, go. And then he's watching it. And he's got to keep a poker face and realization that that ain't what I drew up. That's not the most you can extract from what I just gave you. You give that to Denzel, boom. You give that to Jared Goff, you give that to Matthew Stafford, boom. And I think right now we're at a place where maybe Kevin Stefanski, there's no coincidence that Case Keenum is there, because you're supposed to have an insurance policy. But there's a bad moment in your mind when you have confidence in the insurance policy to the same degree as you do the starter. There's no way that they should be similar. There's no way that they should be parallel. But in this script, the way they performing it, looks like that.
Do I buy the house or no?
How much is it? Coming up, you know me, it's all cost, bro. Are we actually sleeping? Tell me off mic. On Tom Brady and the defending champs? We'll answer that next. Don't speak for yourself. Well, I don't live there anymore, so maybe that's a sign.
Tonight, the ALCS heads back to Houston, H-Town, where the Astros are one win away from punching their tickets to the World Series coverage of the ALCS Game 6.
Yes.
Ends at 7 Eastern on FS1 and the Fox Sports app. Let's head to Tampa. The Bucs are on a 3-game win streak and are tied with the second-best record in the NFC. But the defending champs could actually be flying low under the radar right now. But next up, it's a matchup at home against the Bears. And Tom Brady says the best is yet to come. Oh, he didn't sing it. Y'all take a listen.
I don't think we've reached our potential at all. So I think we've got to continue to stress the importance of, the details every day of what we're trying to do. And we don't have anything that I feel that, I'm out there and go, man, we really got this nailed. I mean, there's a lot of things we need to do better.
Man, Sal, we sleeping on the Bucs like I'm trying to sleep in my new house?
Which one? Yeah, boy, them crib fire. Ooh, and we were like, at Acho's again? I'll be like, yes, at Acho's again. I'm gonna have my own suite, make up a studio up in it. We're gonna do the show from the crib. I love it. Gotta get one of those. All right, are we sleeping on the Bucs? Watch your pronouns, homie. We? Not me. But yeah, I can see that the general landscape right now just seems like they're off the Bucs right now. And it's so rewarding if you're a Bucs player right now to fly under the radar, kind of like you did last year. A lot of attention, but when you were 7-5, guess what people were saying? This team ain't gonna work out. And what happened? They ran the table and it worked out. This year, they're not gonna get drunk off their success. You know why? Ain't nobody pouring no drinks on them. Everybody is talking about what? The Cardinals, talking about the Rams, talking about the Ravens, talking about the Bills. The Bucs, whatever. And that's exactly what Tom Brady is ordered. You know who Suge Knight is? At least do you know who Suge Knight is? Hold up. Yes, okay, good, okay.
Answer that one right.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Trying to make sure I'm still at work on Monday.
Oh, so you'd be like, wow, these people in red come up to the
Suge, he said he didn't know who you was.
Got to talk through the glass, but yeah, I get your point. Suge said something very profound, and I remember reading this in the article. He said he wanted to be rich, not famous. And I was like, you know what's profound about that? That he wanted all the rewards that came from his hard work in high society. You know, I want all of that. But I also, he said in this same article, I want to go to the hamburger stand and not get hounded. He wanted to go get it, but then he didn't want everybody to be all up on him for it. You know why? It helped him keep focused on his grind. This is what Tom Brady wants. Who's the last quarterback to win back-to-backs? I don't know. Maybe it's a Tom Brady, the same guy who's in this situation right now, who's like, yeah, give me everything I want, which is that Lombardi trophy. But all that noise, all that fame, y'all can have that. Give that to the Rams and them. You okay? I did something wrong?
No, my bad. I wasn't asleep. I was just daydreaming about other things. Because that's how we're doing the Bucs.
Oh.
It's not like we sleep on them cats. We just think about other things. Like the Cowboys. They've been giving me a lot to think about, Cowboys. Sitting at 5-1.
I forgot them.
The Cardinals. They've been giving me a lot to think about, sitting at 6-0. The Packers. They've been giving me a lot to think about at 5-1.
Okay.
The Rams.
Yes.
Give me a lot to think about at 5-1. I'm not by any means snoozing on the Bucs, but just like when you catch somebody daydreaming and it's like, hey, wake up, I'm talking.
Oh.
My bad. It's not that you were boring me. It's just that I have some other things to think about. That's how I feel about these Bucs right now. I understand they're 5-1, but the quality of NFL football play is better now than it has been in the last 50 years. We haven't seen 6 teams 5 or 1 and better since 1975 through the first 6 weeks of play. We haven't seen that. So the fact of the matter is, teams are playing better than they've ever played. Quarterbacks playing better than they've ever played. Right now, there are 9 quarterbacks playing at an elite level. And I'm just going to go off the top of my head. Y'all going to get mad at me. I'm sure I'm going to miss one. But Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, Dak Prescott, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Matthew Stafford, Joe Burrow. I got to 9. Russell Wilson's hurt. Patrick Mahomes, I don't even think he's playing elite. But throw Pat Mahomes in there, I got to 10. Only 6 quarterbacks can make the Pro Bowl. Bro, can you, y'all really think about this for a second? Go ahead and get your feelings hurt now so they don't have to be hurt later. Matthew Stafford might not make the Pro Bowl. Tom Brady might not make the Pro Bowl. Kyler Murray might not make the Pro Bowl. Dak Prescott might not make the Pro Bowl. Aaron Rodgers might not make the Pro Bowl. Somebody on there is not going to make the Pro Bowl. Let me hurt your feelings even more.
Let's go.
Right now, week 1 of the playoffs would be the Green Bay Packers versus the Rams. Week 1.
Somebody got to lose?
Wild card round. Somebody got to lose out of them, too. And they might be 2 of the favorites. The Packers would host the Rams week 1 of the playoffs right now. So it's not like I'm sleeping on the Bucs. Truly, I'm not. I'm just thinking about other things.
Just thinking about other things? Wonderful. Masterful take, as they say. But you sleeping. And I know you sleeping. I know you sleeping. My daughter, chronic daydream.
Which one?
Baraka, my oldest, But she gets it from me. I actually daydream a lot. But I'm always on when I'm with you. I want to see you here because you want to invite me over to one of those houses you ain't bought yet. But the point is, I daydream a lot, too. And I pass it on to my kids. Oh, my God, it's the best. You can walk in front of them. So good. Here's the thing. You are sleeping because you forgot the Brady way. Captain America is really Mr. Understated. Tom Brady. Let me give it to you in this form. Anything I give you, Acho, to wear. Let's go to wardrobe right now, and they have 2 suits of the same. And you put it on, and I put it on. I guarantee you, every single time, the suit's going to look better on you. Me?
That was kind.
And it's real, but it's kind, too. I'm glad they both came together, because I was just being real first. Right. It's like Deion Sanders when he put on his uniform. No matter what he wore, it was better on Deion than anybody else. Even to the mouthpiece. You're like, damn, Deion mouthpiece look better than everybody else's, right? Here's why I bring that up. No matter what you put on Tom Brady in terms of success, it's always going to look understated. It's always going to look like, I've seen it better. So even when Tom Brady was in New England, winning Super Bowl after Super Bowl and back-to-backs, we always wanted to daydream, as you say. We always wanted to sleep on Tom Brady. He's so used to it, he's like, go ahead, do it again, and watch at the end what y'all going to see. Staying in the NFC, don't miss your chance to win $100,000 of Terry Bradshaw's money on the Fox Bet Super 6 app. It's going to help you win Terry's money. So scan the QR code, download the app, and play along with us. Washington and the Packers are one of the matchups. So, Acho, who wins by how many points?
Give me the Packers by 12, 36-24.
Damn, we don't prep together. Packers by 13. 33-20, high school score. Fox Bet Super 6 has given away over $5 million, and you could be the next jackpot winner. Download the app, pick 6 NFL games for your shot to win Terry's money. It's free to play, so don't miss out. Coming up. Oh, God, I read promptly well. Coming up, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs have a tough task against Derrick Henry and the Titans. We'll tell you if we're worried about KC. That's next on For Yourself. The Chiefs, who cares, have a tough matchup on the road against the Titans on Sunday. I asked you a question, Nacho. Derrick Henry is coming in as the NFL's leader in touchdown runs, King Henry as they call him, and rushing yards. The KC's defense is ranked 28th in the league. Patrick Mahomes said the presence of Henry is, quote, a great challenge for any defense to stop him. Oh, Acho is going through some technical difficulties right now. I cracked one of those good jokes. So let me answer my own question. Marcellus, yes, okay. Are you worried about the Chiefs this weekend against the Titans? Hell yeah, I'm worried about the Chiefs right now. If you call a team that's about to lose a game worrying, yes, the Chiefs are in trouble. You're going against King Henry and this team that is red hot right now. Raise your hand, and I already got mine raised, if you thought that the Tennessee Titans were a little more out of contention than they actually are. When you look up and you see their record, you see them, and you're like, only 2 blemishes? Only 2 losses? Archer, you want to join me anytime? Only 2 losses? There you go. Only 2 losses? Okay, I'm done with this. I thought that Tennessee was sorrier than this.
Honestly, big dog, I'm going to buy you a double-double. And what do you go? You go 2 double-doubles.
2 number ones.
You go 2, you go 2 number ones.
2 number ones. Well-done fries, raw onions, strawberry shake, and I try to be good with the Diet Coke, but give me a root beer.
Next one's on me. I owe you the first 30 seconds of that. Next one's on me. Now, you put me in this dilemma by being so funny. Are we sleeping on the Bucs? No, we're not sleeping on the Bucs. That's the next topic.
All right, who next?
Are we worried about the Chiefs this weekend? I'm worried about finishing this show.
It's a Friday show, and I am lighting him up.
I'm going no-notes the rest of the show.
Sound like you've been going no-notes.
I don't need any of them. I'm going no pen. I'm worried about the Chiefs this weekend, but the reason I'm worried about the Chiefs is, number 1, Patrick Mahomes. I'm still worried about you. Number 2, Derrick Henry. As long as he is on the other side of the football field, I am worried about anybody going up against Derrick Henry. I look at it like this. If I have been lied to for 6 consecutive weeks, a month and a half, whether that's in a relationship, let's start there. If I've been cheated on for 6 consecutive weeks, a month and a half in a relationship, you can't act right and expect me to not worry about you just like that. And Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs have lied to me based upon what I thought their talent level was versus what their talent level is. Man, I'd be good on TV. Patrick Mahomes, he cheated on me based upon what I thought his talent level was versus what his talent level he has shown to be through 6 weeks of play. So I'm worried about the Chiefs until the Chiefs give me a reason not to worry. But they ain't giving me a reason not to worry. Yeah, Chris Jones might come back. Chris Jones got a wrist injury. You know how hard it is to shed a blocker when you got a wrist injury? A near impossible task. Just like me trying to come back from losing my earpiece and finish this segment. So with that being said, I'm worried about the Chiefs.
Yes, sir. Okay. Speaking of getting cheated on, you cheated on me in the first 30 minutes.
I was like, don't do Anne-Marie like that on live.
Hell no! Goodness gracious. I went red hot on y'all. Let's talk about who the Tennessee Titans are and why they're getting cheated out of their full respect, in part because they cheated on us. When you lose to the Jets, look, dog, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
abandoned ship.
That's real.
But let me just tell you all the ship that we abandoned. Since week 2, Titans, Packers, Bills, only teams to score over 24 points per game. What? Quietly tied for the second best record in the AFC. We were just talking about the AFC and Baltimore Ravens. The team got squad, obviously. King Henry out there getting it. Yeah, Chief Shaw in trouble. Let's just do a little side-by-side comparison real quick. Who's better in the rushing attack? Stop playing. We already know that's going to be Tennessee. In rush defense, stopping the... Damn, Tennessee again. Pass D, they're both bad. But guess what? Not in total D, not the same. And who ranks higher on third down, money down? Tennessee Titans. All that said, Kansas City, this dynasty, boy, it's kind of rocky. Good luck to y'all. Coming up, could Tua be out if Deshaun Watson is headed to Miami? We'll tell you if Brian Flores kept it 100 or 99 with his reaction to the rumor. That's next. If Acho wants to join me,
I promise I'll be here. Maybe.
Golly.
Y'all know how it goes down. We keep it fun, but we also keep it 100. Others, on the other hand, they only keep it 99. Each day, we gonna get to the bottom of who's really telling the truth. Case in point. I don't know why I always say that. Deshaun Watson trade rumors are heating up. Miami popped up as a possible landing destination. The Dolphins have Tua, but head coach Brian Flores was asked about all the quarterback chatter. Y'all take a listen.
You know, I don't really get into rumors. Tua's our quarterback. We're happy with our quarterback situation, and I'll leave it at that. Which we always said, and I've said multiple times.
So, Sal, is Brian Flores keeping it 100 or 99?
God, the problem with being a human being is none of us are perfect, and neither is Brian Flores. He's always kept it 100, but that time, that was 99 right there. You know what this is going to turn into? The owner made me do it, and that's why we got Deshaun Watson. He kept it 99.
He kept it 99, big dog. He had to lie to us. He looked fresh doing it, though. I like them Dolphins hoodies, real talk. But that was a lie. You might not get in the room with Flores, but the general manager and the owner, hey, they all about the gossip.
And then he caught himself. He was like, let me stop talking about this because I'm about to start really lying after a great weekend.